Well, I think maybe the best way to answer that is to explain what it's most similar to, which would be the United States, for many reasons. First off, you have 200 million about of population, which is one of the largest in the world. And whereas many gaming places like Macau, that has been very successful, relies on bringing people there, the gaming plan here, based on the legislative proposals, is to have gaming spread out across the nation, which is similar to the way it is in the United States. Similarly, the legislation provides for casinos in each of the states. It provides for hundreds of bingos, which essentially are small casinos that have just slot machines or bingo machines, which is very similar, again, to the United States model, where we have small casinos, regional casinos, all over the country, wherever there's significant populations. So in that regard, it's most like that. It's different than the casinos we see in Asia. In Asia, there are very few, they're extremely large, and they're put in locations that can be very much controlled by the government and not spread out. So I think that that's the big difference. You're going to have resort casinos here, which will be tourism-based. You will have local casinos here that will be more just about creating economic activity. And economic activity is what builds economies, it's what creates jobs, and helps business overall. I think there's a number that are out there. I mean, certainly the U.S. model has many things to be considered here, maybe as the first thing to look at. Again, as I said before, because the gaming, types of gaming that they're going to have here all exist in the United States except for sports betting. So the regulatory model in the United States is very advanced, it's very experienced, and therefore it's a good model to look at because we've already made our mistakes and we fixed them, so it's good in that way. The Singapore model is the newest model in the world, but it's only for a few multi-billion-dollar casinos. So in that regard, it may not be the best example, but they had a very high level of sophistication in the way they approached the licensing and the supervision of the business. So there are many, many good examples out there. The more recent, larger ones, like Singapore and the United States, I think are the best ones to look at. Oh yes, I mean, gaming is an entertainment business. It's not just about gambling. And it can't be just about gambling because the house always wins. So if it was just about gambling, ultimately it would not sustain itself. Gaming is a basis for an entertainment experience. And what we have seen in the most developed market of Las Vegas, for example, the entertainment elements now exceed the gaming elements, whereas it used to be 70% gaming, 30% hotel, restaurants, nightclubs, shows. Now it's just the other way around. It's 70% entertainment and only 30% casino gambling. If you look at Macau, which is 5 times the size of Las Vegas, even there the government is compelling the gaming operators to develop more and more non-gaming attractions. So it creates a lot of jobs and it creates a lot of entertainment, and the big ones particularly have a big tourism impact. It'll bring people in. If you have gaming here, you'll not only stop Brazilians from leaving the country to gamble, it'll bring people from surrounding nations to come to Brazil to enjoy the entertainment elements of the business here. I think it's 2 things. One is the most important. It's just about population. It all comes down to numbers. You have the population, I think you have half the population of Latin America, you have half the industry of Latin America, and as a result, the economic benefit or the economic potential of the industry is so big that it's here, and that's why it distinguishes it from Latin America. Secondly, because there is no legalized gaming here now other than lottery, you're really able to start from scratch and create an industry that is based on the very highest standards in the world in terms of regulatory structure, regulatory enforcement, and in this country, which is known for its scandals and other sorts of economic problems, you have the ability to use this business to show to the world that you can create something that is beyond all of that, that is actually the highest standards of honesty and integrity. So it has a big potential to demonstrate to the world investment community how good it can be. Oh, I think it's a great conference. This is the second time I've attended and the second time I've had the opportunity or to be a speaker at the conference. I think conferences like this enable all of the various stakeholders, whether it be the government representatives, whether it be potential investors, whether it be operators, whether they be coming from outside the country or inside the country, to all gather together and vet the issues and discuss, and also to meet, because in business you have to get to know each other to form relationships that take a long time to be formed, that turn into deals, that create the business and create the jobs, and BGC is doing a terrific job at doing this. They're holding these conferences every 6 months, not every year. That's very unusual in this industry, and the reason they're doing it, I can tell, and the reason it's so well attended is because it shows the potential for this industry to be so big.
Explain BGC in just one word.
Big.